Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many saga-wide implications as well as revelations in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of people are really looking forward to is of course the Jedi and Sith lore that will be used in this film in order to evolve the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in a very unique and specific way that fans could have never actually predicted before. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that JJ will be using the Jedi and Sith lore in a way in order to expand the current Star Wars lore and the Star Wars canon material that falls under Disney. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks and concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the characters of Rey and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the sequences that were filmed during the month of January included Daisy Ridley inside the set of a crystal cave, where it's described that she eventually makes her way into a location called the Lake of Dreams, where it's said to be a place very strong with the Force that many of the ancient Jedi used for meditation. It's described that Daisy, portraying Rey, was lying down on her back in the shallow water, where it's said that the Force Ghost voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi is described to eventually tune in to give Rey a brief revelation during her session in the Lake of Dreams. It's said that the Kenobi voice goes on to explain to Rey that she is a virgin in the Force and holds a connection to the Beyond, which is a place that holds the origins of the dark side of the Force. Additionally, it's described and revealed that to Rey, by Obi-Wan's voice, that these are her first steps to becoming a Jedi. Additionally, it's said that after the Lake of Dreams, Rey goes through her backpack and takes out Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal that she took from Luke Skywalker's hut, where it's described that in the journal it explains that Obi-Wan Kenobi reveals that at one point in time in the past, well before the events of the prequel trilogy thousands of years ago, that the Jedi and the Sith once bonded together in order to take on a greater threat that surpassed the dark side of the Force. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this, obviously, because this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. We do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to explore Jedi and Sith lore in The Rise of Skywalker in order to not only change Star Wars lore and change how we view not just the Skywalker saga but other forms of canon material, but by also showing us that there are different ways and different, of course, timelines well before the events of the prequel trilogy era. Now, I want to go over the Lake of Dreams. Now, the Lake of Dreams is actually said to be a very spiritual piece within the Lost City in, of course, Episode 9 that Rey eventually travels to, where she makes this connection with Obi-Wan Kenobi, where the Force Ghost voice of Kenobi is actually described to reach out to her, revealing to her that she is a virgin in the Force and actually is somewhat connected to the Beyond. Now, the Beyond is a location in the galaxy that holds the origins of the dark side of the Force. Now, I don't know about you guys, but what's really intriguing to me about that is that this most definitely also lines directly up with what we just went over recently about Emperor Palpatine reaching out to Rey during her travels into the Sith ruins at a certain point in time in this film, also based within the Lost City, where it's described that it reveals to her that she has a darkness that is lying dormant within her that is rising. Now, the fact that she has some kind of connection to the Beyond, and the fact that she's also a virgin in the Force, it tells us a lot of things here. That there is something more to the story with the character of Rey and who she really is. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams is changing her lineage in this movie. In fact, in case you guys did not know, a lot of the rewrites of the script that took place during the months of November and December involved a lot of the changes of Rey's lineage and exactly who she really is. Now, the other piece that I also want to go over is Obi-Wan Kenobi's journal that Rey eventually took away from Luke Skywalker's hut on Ahch-To during the events of The Last Jedi. So what's really exciting about this scenario is that this is the moment in which she discovers, through one of the pages that were written by Obi-Wan Kenobi, during his time on Tatooine and after he actually visited the Lost City himself many years ago before his death, is that at one point in time, thousands of years ago, the Jedi and the Sith had to actually team up together in order to take on a greater evil that surpassed the dark side of the Force. Now, I don't know about you guys, but could this have something to do with the new villain called the Dark Acolyte in Episode 9? Could that very well be a little piece of foreshadowing of what's to come at the very end of Episode 9, based within the third act? Now, like I say, guys, Obi-Wan Kenobi, at the end of the day, a very important character, and it seems like that J.J. Abrams really is going to be explaining exactly why Kenobi was reaching out to Rey in The Force Awakens. Now, take note that the Lake of Dreams sequence, from what's being described, is also said to be a moment in which Obi-Wan Kenobi reveals to Rey that these are her first steps into becoming a Jedi. So, the first steps line is something similar in a sense of what we heard in The Force Awakens. It's very likely that this particular scene is actually going to line up with the dialogue that we briefly heard in The Force Awakens through, of course, Ewan McGregor and the mixed dialogue of Alec Guinness portraying Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nonetheless, guys, I am very excited to see exactly what they have planned for Episode 9 as a whole, and what they really plan to do, of course, by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, to really kind of just bond all these characters together and have all these different connections between Rey, Luke, Obi-Wan, Palpatine, Kylo Ren, you name it, Anakin Skywalker, all the different characters that span the different eras of the Skywalker saga. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.